and begin. Om Namo Gurudeva Namo. Om Namo Gurudeva Namo. Namo Gurudeva Namo.
Jugaad करे नमें, जुगाद
Jugaad
करे
Kare
नमें,
Name, Sat
रात करे
Kare Name,
नमें,
Siri
श्री गुरुदेव
Name,
नमें, हाथ करे
Kare Name,
नमें,
Jugaad
जुगाद करे
Kare Name,
नमें,
Sat
साथ
Kare
करे
Name, Siri
श्री गुरुदेव
Name,
नमें,
Aat
हाथ करे
Jugaad
जुगाद करे
Kare
नमें, साथ
Sat
करे
Kare Name,
नमें,
Siri
श्री गुरुदेव
Name. Long deep breath. Continue heart breath. Oh, deep, very deep. And continue. Sahej, this is Grace. And Sahej,
Satnam, yes, Steve, good morning. I'm defrosting my car. It's 10 degrees. Ooh.
what? Say it again.
I'm defrosting my car. It's like 10 degrees out. So
Oh, gosh.
and I have a dental emergency, so I'll be in and out of the call.
Okay.
Thank you.
Japa Saraswati told us. Mm-hmm. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll need Neil B. Prem. Are you there? Ah, good. Thank you so much. I love that name. Okay. What is that? Wisdom? Wait a minute. Service? Love. Isn't that lovely? Okay. Thank you. Okay. And now keep up with heart breath with Baba Siri Chand. And now he says that you listen to him because your meditation for him is telling us about you. Ask Baba Siri Chand is telling you what you are going to be listening for in these what can I say, during the short times. Now, before just before and a little bit after to understand what you were going to do for your own self, what you are doing that for yourself. Do you all understand that?
Yes. Can we say it again?
Okay, I'm sorry, I made it.
Is
Here.
it,
Hmm?
is it, what are we doing for ourselves during the times?
Yes, and for this time, for about maybe 6 months.
For the next 6 months?
Yes, to tell us what we're going to do for at least for 6 months.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So continue with the meditation for 3 minutes and begin. Then inhale, exhale, and continue heart breath. Okay. So because Sahej needs to go, so Sahej, will you begin?
I will. I am driving. I am
Mhm.
driving into a very beautiful sunrise at 8:13 a.m. Um, and what's coming up for me this morning is anxiety and uh, I'm trying to think of how to say the question. Oh, there's a pair of eagles sitting on a lamppost. How beautiful.
Hmm.
I'm trying to listen in because what I felt was, okay, I'm feeling anxiety about my general health and just about my material stability. And uh, so what I'm going to be listening for is uh, the way past fear.
Okay.
And yeah,
Past, wait a minute. Past what?
the way past fear, like the
Fear?
tools. I'm sorry, it's loud because I'm driving.
No,
Trying to
that's
turn down the way past fear.
past fear. Oh, good for
Fear,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. And actually, as soon as I asked the question, I started to feel my body relax, like kind of
Mm,
like almost like oh, you got this. Remember, we know this. So maybe it's the remembering the knowing of the way past fear.
mhm. Okay. And what do you know?
Um, I guess what I'm being shown is, oh, yeah, okay, this is it. Sometimes it takes a minute, but
Mhm.
I'm driving into this grandeur. I'm looking at this magnificent earth, this beautiful sunrise, these mountains, this pair of eagles. You know, there's so much around me to ground me. And that's where I go first with my breath.
Mm, okay. Okay. So, did you say with your breath?
With my breath. Yeah, like to notice what's there. Like that's the first step is to notice. Just look around, see what's there. Because I'm in an extraordinarily beautiful environment. It's there for me. Um, and then to drop into it with the breath.
Oh,
And I think that's about it for me this morning because I'm about to reach my destination.
okay. Well, that's important.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll try to keep listening in.
Okay. Now tell me again. The first thing was about what?
Is to look around, to ground myself in the natural beauty of the place where I am, to realize the grandeur of it and the gift of it,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and to appreciate that and use that as a grounding tool
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
with the tool of the breath. And right now I am literally parking, so
Okay.
that's that's
That,
me out this morning, but I'll be listening as I
yeah.
can.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Satnam. Okay. Satguru. I mean, Sat City.
Satnam. I just opened my, thank you everybody for being here. Just a beautiful experience. And I opened my eyes and this huge rainbow is all across my ceiling. I
Mhm.
have no idea where it came from. So, unbelievable. It's just sitting on my ceiling, white ceiling, huge, bizarre. Okay, so blessings, blessings, blessings from Baba Siri Chand. And okay, I'm going to just try to just summarize the message. Said, Siri, you've rested long enough.
Okay.
This is, he said, I'm channeling Yogi Bhajan's general. You're in my army, and you're ready to be deployed for your assignments. So,
Oh,
sign number one is you've rested long enough, and I need you to spring into action. And there's a couple of things. Just it was the most clear, direct messages I've ever had. Number one, reconcile with the ashram, and
and
I'm sending you back to work, and I want you to pay dues there. He said, like 100, whatever sacred number you can come with after 100 and before 200. Okay, that will mean I have to increase my income, which will be good. He said, I have 3 stations where I want you to be in service. Let's see, what was the first one? The first one is, and he said, I've been speaking to you through lots of things. I've been listening to Jordan Peterson, who said the most important thing one can do right now is to teach young people how to think. And the best way to teach them how to think is to teach them how to write.
say
I
it
thought
again.
the best way to teach young people how to think critically and clearly is to teach them how to write. Well, I thought I was done with teaching writing, which I did like for 40 years, and it's really hard work. But I found a really good company, so I'm going to just apply. So that was the thing. I've told you through Jordan Peterson, you got to go back to teaching writing. It'll cover all your expenses. Okay, the second thing was, so that's station number one. Station number two, he said, you'll probably be in a school or something, or I have companies that I know are really good. He said, this will cover you financially working part-time. 2 was mental health, and 3 was addiction. And he said, the state, go ahead, get your license to do that, which is very easy to do here. They're desperate for people. And he said, your home will be at SMOC, where you can help people with Kundalini, yoga, meditation, which I'm ready to do. He said, you've been well trained for mental health, because people are going to be going berserk. And number 2, addiction, because people are going to be going to berserk. And what had happened before this in the meditation started by the hard times are coming in my head, dropping into my heart. And, it's so painful and so challenging and heartbreaking. But the hard times, Satsiti, the hard times are here. They're coming in, and these are the places I want you to be, what I want you to be doing. Okay, come in.
Okay.
Very unusual, specific, really deep clarity about next steps, which usually I don't get that. I usually get, well, the feelings. It started with the feeling. The hard times are here. They're here.
Okay.
The hard times that Yogi Bhajan used to talk about.
Uh-huh.
And people will be going berserk and using a lot of escape methods through alcohol and drugs and sex. Like sexual addiction, which was surprising.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Um, okay.
It's very
Oh,
military relationship, like clear commands, clear assignments, and kept getting the metaphor of war.
oh,
Approach it both. We are in war and escalating war, but also to have the discipline of a warrior, of a soldier, follow directions. I'm telling you, really straight up clear. And oh, now the rainbow's fading and going away. It's the wildest experience I've had in a long time. So I pass. Thank you, everybody.
Well, that's wonderful. Okay.
Aye, aye, sir.
Okay. You know what? I am getting to learn first aid and CPR. And
Yeah,
what you're talking about is very similar to that.
yeah, yes.
Mhm.
We'll be on all the fronts. We've been trained. We're ready to be deployed. We're ready to serve
Okay.
and face death.
Oh,
That's, I mean, violence. I think everything we heard about the hard times.
right.
Right. It's already happening in New York. The city's falling apart. And that's one thing I just ask for all your prayers. My Auntie Pat, my mother's only surviving sibling, and my mother is deceased, was a nurse in New York City from a very young age. You know, she went in at like 17 or 18, was trained, worked in the military, all that stuff. She married the head policeman, the chief of police in Coney Island, Phil Burns. And he was there when the Russian mafia hit and he went nuts, beat her up, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, my mother and I worked with her a lot to get sober because she used alcohol to deal with her circumstances. Um, and the most important thing is that she went out last night after like decades of being sober, fell down, totally tore apart her knee, and I'm gonna need to go there and help her. And luckily, her son up in upstate New York, Rochester, will get her out of New York, where she's lived her whole life. It was like a really deeply affectionate, loving New York. One of those people who grew up in New York in the good days. But it's really getting rough and rougher in New York. And just keep her in your prayers. Her name's Patsy Burns. Patsy McLaughlin is her maiden name.
Sure.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now Gian das Prem.
But no, so the listening and the ability to surrender and the listening to for the opening. Um, so for me, it's studying more into my given words, my inner voice, and with that, preparing physically. I'm looking at Saint Bartholomew because the name came to me, and I've been able to hone myself to bring others into a group for the singing and the chanting into my direction. It's Cross Your Heart Satanama for 30 minutes a day for the next 6 months. And there's a lot more in there, but sitting on a plane with a full plane and everyone, we're all here together. And the
Ready to close the boarding door, so please place your devices in airplane mode.
carrying of the torch from the light in our heart and bringing that forward to the courage of surrender. Waheguru. I love you guys so much. We're so much here together, and I'm willing to give myself. I think is for the next practice. Going inside and noticing the strength and that womb-like warmth that we have in our heart. Yeah, and just returning to the mother. Thank you so much for this opportunity here on this. I'm calling it a giant rehabilitation facility, is what Earth is, and that we all have something that we are rehabilitating. for ourselves and for others together to become this group. Why, Guru, thank you so much for these opportunities and for that inner voice coming from other voices into myself. We share together in that vibration, listening for the feeling and noticing the feeling. Thank you so much. There's just so much love here, Berlin.
Mm.
Kevin, ready for dark.
Why, Guru, thank you so much for this shared vibration that we're all speaking together.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Thank you, dear. Oh, so Japa Saraswati.
No. I got the message about sowing seeds and that in the 22nd Podi, it translates to what we eat is what we sow. And that this is, I feel it's a time for investment, like in self-care and taking care of ourselves, especially well as the world gets crazier around us. The message I got was to turn inward. And I'm so glad that Sahaj is back because what I wanted to say is about taproot vegetables. So there are vegetables like a carrot or like a beet or like a parsnip or something that grow, the whole vegetable is under the ground and it's like one solid root mostly. That's called a taproot vegetable. And um, and I specifically saw planting those to help keep us stable and grounded, um, whether it's metaphorically or otherwise. So I saw that this could be like, I said, well, but Baba, it's the middle of winter. This isn't the time to plant. And he kind of prodded me, yeah, but this is the time to plan the garden. That it's time to meditate on how we'll do for the next 3 months and then put it into action, so that the foundation is laid when the crap hits the fan, you guys, when the crap hits the fan. And so, yeah, so that was my message, was about self-care.
Mhm.
I think
And self-care is about uh, nutrition and what else?
taking care of the whole body, like even what Sahaj is doing this morning of that's acute care, but that taking care of the whole body. I really feel strongly myself about blessing my body. So the chakra in the center of the palm where Jesus had stigmata, this chakra um is especially for like blessing the home or the, like if you brush a horse or pet your dog or polish the floor or brush a child's hair or any of that really happens with this chakra. And really that act of cleaning is really about blessing and sending blessings. But the image that I kept getting was like that energetic cleansing and sweeping of the body, but also self-care with massage, or like that's what I mean about that specialized care with the tooth. That's like a teeny tiny part of the body that just needs, like it's that lavishing of care also on like flossing and moisturizing and washing or brushing your hair or however it is, but to make our own electromagnetic fields strong and rooted and grounded like that taproot, and to make ourselves not exactly radiant, but it's also through polishing through our asana or our yoga practice and polishing through our nutrition, making sure that we're eating fresh, healthy foods, especially to sweep through any goobers, you know. Um, but that's what I feel about self-care. And also self-care, I mean, like planning, I called a friend yesterday from Florida to say Happy New Year, and he told me that he got the news that basically in 1 year, it's going to be time for him to move, and his wife's job is going to change massively, and his job is going to change massively. And I was like, well, weren't you telling me, you know, a year or two ago that the plan was for you to move to Ohio in 3 years? Doesn't that sound like it's right on track? And and he I had to kind of remind him that it was a major opportunity. I think that he was so fresh in the taking in the information that all of these things were changing in exactly a year. I said, well, that sounds like it's, you know, planning time, you know, by planning out your next moves. And that's the way that I feel about this time because I wish Hadi Munder was here. Have you guys heard about the 4 a.m. club?
No, tell us.
No? Has Sahaj it's like so because it happened to me and I thought it was delusion or wishful thinking, but I woke up at 4 in the morning right after like on the night of the vote. Um,
Oh,
and I'd been watching it before I fell asleep and I saw that he was ahead and then I dreamt that she won. And I and then I woke up and I saw the news and I was confused and disappointed. Um and and anyway, it turns out that it's people started reporting, especially women, started reporting that they all woke up at 4 a.m. and that they've had somewhat disturbed sleep at the 4 a.m. time. And now all of these psychics are saying that it is like a premonition, that it was a premonition of, or the awareness of, I don't know if exactly it's split in timelines or whatever, but now all of these internet psychics are saying, and so take it with however many grains of salt that you will. But I was wondering if you guys had heard that basically that they're going to come out with something about election fraud and that there's going to be a delay in the inauguration and that um, and that yeah there that anyway all of this other stuff, a whole cascade of events. Had you guys heard about this?
No. Uh-uh.
No? Or yes?
No.
Oh, well, really take it with grains of salt because I mean, I'm not the source. And in fact, I feel funny kind of listening to prognostications because I think it gets a lot of emotional energy tied up into it. And I'd rather just deal with stuff as it is. But I've been having big thoughts about the timeline switches
Mm.
because so what's been coming out increasingly in the news and is that events will have happened years before, like in war zones and whatnot, and then they'll hold on to it for a news story and show it when they need to. And I'm theorizing that this helps make timelines splits or alternate timelines is because there's been so much of this buggery going on in it.
What was
And
the name? What was it?
buggery, I said.
Say it
bugger.
again.
Buggery. I was being a little bit rude.
Oh, buggery. Okay.
Yes, I don't, um, yeah, I don't know, but they're messing with the timelines, and that's got me. I wanted to talk about it with you, and I wished that Hadi Munder, and I'm glad that Sahaj. Does anybody else have thoughts about this?
No. But you know what? You know what's coming is Well, of course, we know that with this government, they they um, they are not truthful.
Yep.
Everything is going to be uh, not truth. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So, uh, so it's very important to listen to Baba Siri Chand and Soul, because
Mm,
that will be only thing that we really know.
yeah. That was why I got the message about the taproot, about consolidating the energy into that one, into that root, into that growth and development of self, but that coming back to what we eat is what we sow, that we need to be self-sustaining in that way and really hooked into to the grounded earth.
Wow.
Yes. Okay.
I guess that was
That was good.
Yep. That was important.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. Do you, what about listening from, um, from, are you hearing untruth around here? Okay, let's have a little meditation for just,
Are we hearing untruth?
yeah, what do you see is happening now? Okay,
Okay.
for a couple of minutes. Okay, and begin. And inhale. Exhale. And this is for South City.
Ooh. Can I wait a little bit and meditate a little bit more? I was getting a lot of fuzz.
I
Oh,
think, can we have Gyandas Prem go because his plane is taking off soon, so maybe he should go
oh,
first.
yes. Okay. Beyond das Prem.
Thank you. Mm. Being in the silence. bracing for the prayer that we're putting forward into the atmosphere, into the vibration, bracing that from the group. Embracing that silence, yeah. It's really just right there, like a blank piece of paper that we're all going to draw on. See what we come with when we get back together.
Say it again. All going to be what?
Coming together with our own visage or our own template on that blank sheet.
Okay.
Back to creation, I think. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Let me just ask you something else. Excuse me. Are truth and love, are they coming together with Gyandas Brahm?
I see that approachment like when we're in that circle of trust and in that circle of being, but coming back to that beginning that's what I feel in that belief. Yeah, it's coming back to that again and seeing that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Within that love is that creation of mind and that listen. Find my breath, and that's what it is. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm Buddha. Truth is my identity.
Good.
Yes, in the Satanama, the cross your heart is difficult for me physically, but I found that with practice it becomes adjustable and okay within myself. We can all find that adjustment within that love becoming truth.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay. Japa Saraswati.
So I tuned in and I asked Baba about where do I see this falsehood? And what he showed me was a mirror of myself, that I have such a strong protective mind. You guys heard me, I think, crying about it last week or whenever, that like so I can usually see the negative, not just the negative, I can see the fatal flaw um, from much farther away than normal people can. um, and it's a bit of the Cassandra curse, where she was condemned to speak the truth, but nobody would, not just the truth, but to speak of dark prophecies, and nobody would believe her, and she just watched these people falling unnecessarily because they had so vilified her in and anyway, I really feel for her because where is the where is the falsehood around us? Um, it's all over the place. And I want to say that the message that I got was that with AI, there's going to be even more and more scams, and that even things that we look at that we think, like, for example, I saw a news story several weeks, I would say back in November, and I saw the footage, and it was, I felt like it was a really divisive issue, but it was a very innocent seeming story. And then um, I noticed the way that it was filmed, and I recognized probably a week or two later, because I was still thinking about the story, I recognized that the way that it was filmed would not have been possible if it hadn't been set up in advance, because I was thinking about how strategically it was filmed. And I remember talking about the news story with a number of people, and because it was so curious to me, and it took me probably a week or two to recognize that this had clearly been fake news or something planted to stir up controversy. I can't really say which, but now with AI and the way that they can craft stories, there was another time that I can tell that news stories, um, anyway, because I left a comment on a news story, and nobody else had even seen the comment. It was like, they are doing this for, this is what I got, that they're doing this for data gathering, that the end goal is for data gathering, and to be really careful with our with what we believe, you know, to believe the things that are, I don't even know, it feels like we can't even be on guard for what's fake, because there's actually so much fake out there. That's really hard.
Mhm.
That's really hard for me. It's, there's nothing that we can do to prevent ourselves from being exposed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, from the exposure, like, excuse me, by what?
To being exposed to the, I want to say, not, I don't mean just to the fake news, but I mean to the way that the news is manipulated, the way that things can have happened, you know, many years before, and then they only decide to report about it 3 years later because they, it's a convenient piece of the narrative at such and such a time. I mean, we can't avoid being manipulated like this anymore. You know, like I remember when it was easy for me to say, "Oh, I'm just not gonna watch the news," and or I'm not gonna watch TV, and I'm not gonna subject myself to media and all of that. Now it's pervasive.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Okay, wonderful. Well, it's
thanks.
true. Oh,
Thanks.
so what do you do with such truth in such that happens? What do you do with that?
I'm feeling two different kinds of truth. Like the kind of truth that's deep within our bodies is what I'm feeling is the only kind of truth that there is, because all of the truths that are outside of our body can be reflected and refracted and twisted and turned around. I'm feeling like the only truth is within us.
Within ourself?
Yeah. That well, what I'm feeling is that that's a truth that we can know from deep within us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it.
And this is such, I got clear on what the message was, and very just simple practice fear eradicator.
Is this a Salt City?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I wasn't, it took me a longer meditation to get clear instruction information. So practice, practice, practice fear eradicator, teach it, and also ego eradicator. So those two meditations, ego for service and fear for delivering service.
Okay. Deliver, say it again. Deliver what?
Sure. So me and teach do simplify and just really do a lot of fear eradicator meditation, which is in all the books and online. I just checked because it's online. And then that follow it with fear, practicing fear and teaching, ego eradicator, which is a different meditation. So service is clean and clear. So teaching and service are neutral.
Okay. Good. Good. Thank you. It's important to do all of these things.
This stuff.
Isn't this? Aren't we glad that we have our own kind of truth, that we can hear that, we can know that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Okay.
I'm back. This is
There
Sahaj.
you are.
Um, and I have something. I had this wildly miraculous little morning. Long story short, my appointment is going to be later this afternoon, so I've been able to drive around this morning and looking at this magnificent world and tune in. And this last question, what I got, the question about truth, I was shown this kind of example in Satnam Rasayan when people are learning how to practice and becoming aware of your sensations. I don't know if everyone's familiar with it. It's a healing modality. So the practice is it part of the practice is you're becoming aware of your sensations and you're kind of equalizing your sensations. And someone gives an example of like you might have a perception that something is oh like it's green and it's wet and it's and they give all these examples and they go oh so and then the mind jumps and goes it's a frog. But the person who was giving you the example is like, no, just perceive what you perceive, and don't let your mind jump in and come to a conclusion. And that's where I think we get into trouble, and that's how we end up trying to think of how to say this. It's like the information is there. We know that because we access it every time we come together. And to not, the message is don't let fear drive you to a conclusion. Perceive what you perceive and let the information come through. And if it's not, if you're getting something murky, and it's not shifting into something that's clear in the moment, that's okay too, because maybe more will be revealed. Maybe there's another piece or experience that you need to have before you're able to fully comprehend what that message is that's coming through for you. But that we've become used to using our intuition. We've been sharpening our intuitive awareness for however long we've been doing that in this lifetime, because these times are coming. And we've relied on a lot of information coming in, our visual information, all our sensory information, and information people give us, and information we get from the news, and all of that. And so we've relied on a variety of things. We've used a variety of things to form our notion of what is true and real at this time in our world. And what I'm hearing is that we are going to have to be relying, perhaps not solely, but very, very heavily on our intuitive awareness, and to not shy away from it if it doesn't make immediate sense, but to really resist drawing conclusions or jumping to the drawing of a conclusion. I'm not sure if that distinction's coming through, but I think that's the best way I can say it. Like, just beware of the mind trying to make sense of things before perhaps the message is ripe. Sometimes, we want to connect the dots to a billion other things, and just to be aware of that, give a little space, put a little ether into it, and give it a little space. I hope you were able to glean something out of that.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well, thank you so much. Okay. So, thank you so much, all of you. And Japa Saraswati, can you lead our song?
Sure. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way. Guide your way on.
Inhale. So bless you all. And this will be next week for Wednesday. And we will also be happy from all of us as well. Satni Shan. That will be lovely. Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Have a blessed day.
Bless you all.
Love
You
to all.
all had with Baba Siri Chand, you had wonderful knowing what's happening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Siri Gian. Love you too. Bye.